Been a while since we visited Crash City. It's been a week. First off, we got our I rating from a 1282 to a 1310, so that's an improvement. It could have been more, but we'll get into some of the reasons maybe a little later. Again, I rating is iRacing's matchmaking system. Start off with we'll talk about our Michelin Pilot Challenge races. We turned about 139 laps in that series. It was at Legacy Silverstone, but it was the short layout, not the one that we ran last season, which was the full layout. Would have rather done the full to compare things a little bit more directly, but hey, it is what it is. We got our time down from a 102.623 as our best lap time in our first race to a 102.143 in practice and a 102.066 in a race. Most of the guys racing their paces in the 101s, so we weren't quite there. Our average start this week was 5th and our average finish was 7th within our class. Again, when we show the stat page, it is the whole field, including the faster class cars. Overall, in that series, we have a start of 5th and a finish of 6th. This week, we placed 37th in our division. Overall, in that series, we're placed 18th in the championship points. Here are the stats for your perusal. This was another one of these weeks in this series that kind of stressed me out. As always with this series, the main stress comes from not knowing how to handle the faster class cars passing me. And that is why I kept doing these races throughout the week, is just to get more practice and try and get more comfortable in those situations. And that's really the only way I think to get better at that, is to put myself in those positions more often. I need to get better at not freaking out when they're coming up and trying to hold my line better, even if I think that the person behind me is gonna not do what they're supposed to do and go around, but just go right through me, as sometimes they do. I've had enough bad situations happen that it's built some bad habits, but we're working on it, and slowly but surely we'll get better. And that's the whole point of Project Get Good, is to work on things and slowly get better at them. Slowly. Where is he gonna catch me? Damn it.
Blue flag. On your right. Clear right. Car right. Right side's clear.
Now on to the meat and potatoes of what we did this week, which was our Turn Touring Car Challenge. We ran about 241 laps in this series this week. Last season at Tsukuba, the track that we're on, we ran a 1:00.24. Our first evening practicing, we got that down to a 59 this week. Our first race, our best lap was a 1:00.13. We got that down to a 59.828 in practice and a 59.670 in a race. You know, races are a little faster. You've got draft going, and also I'd push a little harder in the races, I think. Our weekly average start was 4th. Our weekly average finish was 7th, which we'll get into why in a little bit here. Overall in this series, our weekly average start is 6th, our average finish is 7th, and I said weekly there where I shouldn't have, but we are 38th in our division for the week, and 14th overall for the championship points in our division. Here's the stats for your perusal. You'll notice that we had 2 wins there, which, you know, our first one was just a pretty easy race where we'd gotten into bottom split. We were the top car in bottom split and just kind of walked away from everybody at the beginning and stayed there. Our other win, we poled, but the second place car pulled out ahead of us pretty early on, and we followed them pretty closely for a good chunk of the race until that car put a wheel in the grass and spun out in front of us. And it would have been nice to have maybe battled him a little bit more and overtaken him through more of our skill and less like a mistake on his part. But hey, a win's a win, we'll take it. Or you know, that'll happen. And then, you know, man, this week, you know how I say I keep needing to get more practice overtaking folks? Well, we got our opportunities thanks to stuff like this happening. And then this. Maybe a little bit of this.
The track temperature's decreasing. It's now 31 Celsius.
You know, I was taking notes throughout the week, trying to like find moments where highlights for the video reel so I could make these videos a little bit easier when I'm actually coming down to make it. I realized, you know, hey, if I had an incident and didn't finish well, more often than not, I could find one of these little highlight clips. Folks at this track apparently decided, hey, if the car in front of me is, I don't know what it was. Like, folks don't realize that if there's traffic up ahead of you, you can't just go through it and expect you to just, I really don't get it. It was interesting. Some of those incidents were a little bit more egregious than others, like this one. Some of them were just bad driving, but you know, if we hadn't gotten spun out quite so many times at the beginning of all these races, I think our average finish would have been a little higher and our I rating wouldn't have gone up so little, maybe? I don't know. But it, like I said, it afforded us the opportunity to work on our overtaking skills, and I'm trying to be positive throughout the week. I was getting a little frustrated at one point, but you know, there's a silver lining to every cloud, and we just took it as an opportunity to work on fighting our way back through a field, and we got some practice at passing slower cars, which again is something that I've been, you know, saying I need to work on, and I think we actually got kind of good at it. One of these races in particular, we got spun out on, and I felt like the comeback kid going up through it. There was one dodge that we made where it looked like a guy, not while I was driving, but looking back at the replay, he put his wheel out into the dirt there and it sent him off, but I was pretty close behind him and I, you know, evaded. It felt a lot closer when it was happening than it looks in the replay, but we'll have that right here now because I'm bad at introducing clips, maybe?
Clear left. Well done, Josh. Nice move, mate.
Later on that same race, there was a fella who we were battling with for quite a while. I think I may have had a little bit more pace than he did, but we finally got caught up. I was sticking my nose trying to get a move done for several laps there until finally we got him on the start finish straight. and he was not having any of that. And well, into the next big, or the hairpin there, he full sent it, and we kind of saw it coming. And he ended up, I was thinking maybe we'll do an undercut. He's gonna not be able to really get a bunch. He's not gonna be able to take this corner as well as we are, because he's carrying way too much speed trying to get past me. But he carried even more speed than that and ended up taking out the car that had was in front of us and had previously been in front of him. So we got that move done.
Careful. On your left. Still there. Clear left.
Oh man, look at that.
Keep it up. Left side. Clear left. Car right. Clear right. E8.
Towards the end of that race, that blue car that we passed in that last clip ended up taking out our good friend Arxel from our chat, and I got a little confused as to what was going on, because it looked like people were stopped for the end of the race, and I'm like, what's going on? And we didn't slow down so much that we lost our position or anything. But it was unfortunate for Arxel there. But yeah, towards the end of the week, I kind of resigned myself to getting the punts are going to happen. People aren't driving safe here, and yeah, we'll just use these as opportunities to get some passing practice done. And I think I had a better time after I resigned myself to that, and actually had some fun doing these kind of last to back to the middle of the pack kind of things. And that was honestly one of the more fun races I had this week, I think. Just trying to fight my way back up the field, and we'll probably as long as everything's clean stream wise, put it up here as a link later on. It's not going to be there right while I publish the video, but if you're catching it this after the fact, it should be there. And then yeah, that was a week where our average finish could have been higher, except for incidents.
Clear left. Left side. Clear left.
That's probably my bad. And exercise in trying to look for the silver lining and see opportunities that might not present themselves right away. We used it as a learning experience in both series, one to work on our skills of, getting past, and one to work on our skills for passing. So yeah, I think it was a worthwhile week, and we definitely learned some things. I'm feeling my skills in these turn series getting better more quickly than maybe the ones that we're working on in the Michelin Pilot series. But hey, we've started from somewhere in this whole adventure, and we'll get going to our destination eventually, right? Incremental progress over a long period of time is kind of what we're shooting for here. Now, next week takes us in the Michelin Pilot series to Twin Motegi, which I've never driven before, so that'll be interesting to see. And then in the Turn series, the fixed setup series with just the one class, we're going to Spa, which I'm not the best at, but I have at least a little bit of experience with. I know where the track goes, so it'll be interesting to see how that one is in the fixed setup race versus previously where people could run multiple setups. I don't know how I'm gonna do. We'll find out. I'm not super optimistic, but we'll take whatever opportunities present themselves. as always, hit those like, subscribe, thumbs up buttons. Leave a comment if you've got something to add, and head on over to twitch.tv/thepiltdownman to follow us along live. Till next time, folks, be nice to each other.